Welcome to Don's Manufactory. Today I'm prepping for putting the gold finish on the Les Paul. Not sure what's going on with color tone, but I bought the pale gold paint. The idea being that guitar this old is going to be faded, so I'm going to paint it the pale gold, and then I'll overcoat it with some amber mixed in the clear lacquer. So the first couple of coats that go on after the gold will be putting amber on to simulate the amber of a aged top. Plus, it'll put the aged color back on the binding, because naturally I'll have to scrape the gold off the binding and it'll leave it white instead of yellowed. I just kind of mixed up a color that matches the amber that the 79 Les Paul is. I also bought some silver as the base coat for the Telecasters. This can of silver paint weighs 1 pound 2 ounces. This can that I got of pale gold weighs 10 ounces. Now right here on the can it says it's supposed to be 13 ounces worth of paint, net weight internally, and the whole thing, can, cap, everything only weighs 10 ounces. So I complained and they sent me another one, which I waited like almost 2 weeks for. Now it weighs, instead of 10 ounces, this thing weighs 13 ounces, which is supposed to be the net weight of the paint, not the can and everything together. So both of these cans of gold paint are not full. I mean, this is silver metallic, so basically it has aluminum in it. Gosh, I can't get my mouth working this morning. And aluminum's going to be lighter than the gold or the bronze that they use in the gold paint. So basically that can of gold paint should weigh more than this. Now that I have two cans that are one's only about a third full, the other's just over half, I guess that's enough paint to paint it, so I'll do that. Now the problem will arise that these two cans won't be the exact same color. I'm expecting that. I was going to check the lot number. This is lot, what is it, M5702? That sounds like the part number. Yeah, that is. And so it's not a lot number, so there's no way to know when it was produced, how long it's been on the shelf, what the color actually is. So what I'm going to do is poke a little hole in these cans and bleed all the pressure out of them. Then I'm going to open up the cans and pour them into a single container and mix them together. So then I'll thin it out. I'll use this one to get the gold on, and also spray clear coat that goes over the top of the guitar. But I'll use this small gun for doing any shading of the, shall we call it, aging amber, so that I can control how much amber is in what areas, and kind of give it a little shading, make sure the binding has enough on it, that kind of thing. This has got a 1.3 tip on it. I used it to paint my car. Ought to be good enough to paint a dang guitar, so that's what's coming up. In the meantime here, it's time to mask. So I was just cutting some masking tape here, once I find the end of the darn thing, and sticking it over the holes. I don't want the finish coming through the holes, so I will just plug them off. I guess I can show you that. Yeah, as you can see, I'm just putting some masking over the holes here. I'll leave the inside of these cavities as well as the routings for the pickups in their pristine original condition. Okay, I don't think you can see that, so let me just pull the guitar over. Basically, I'm just sticking it down in there. See, did I make it? Yep, I did. Okay then. So the holes are all plugged from the backside. See, I'm leaving the original gold inside the cavities. So I'll mask those as well. I'm going to mask it two ways. This is one masking where it's down from the binding. So when I'm using the small airbrush, I can just get the binding with the amber and let it kind of overlap a little bit down the side. So the next thing is I will mask on top of this, and I'll mask the binding and everything so I can shoot the gold, and then after the gold, peel that first masking off. So then it's like this. I can shoot the amber, and then I can shoot the clear, and then unmask the whole thing. And it'll liable to leave a little line here with overspray, but I can just take that off with a razor blade and some 1500 sandpaper, and then give it a good buff. I mean, this finish is pretty rough, so doesn't have to be perfect. That's for dang sure. And no, I don't know. I could do it as time lapse. So I guess we'll do that. Well, nothing special here. Just standard masking techniques. Cut out a shape of the body so it would cover the whole back, and it's like any other painting project where the secret is in the prep. It's not in the actual painting. Although that didn't turn out to be true later on. Well, this stuff catches up to you if you don't pay attention. So here I'm doing my staged masking technique. So, like Joe Daddy says, the sequence is scored. So the idea is figuring out ahead of time the order of events and then doing everything to support that order of events so that it works out okay. Okay, I've been shaking this can for the last 3 or 4 minutes. What I'm going to do now is poke a little hole right in the top here. Not enough yet. Nope. There it goes. Just a really small little hole. So we'll see how long it takes to discharge. Took quite a while. The propellant has to boil out of the paint. Didn't notice this one. This can was leaking. Keep the can warm. Don't try to vent it too fast because the paint will boil up. It'll foam up and you'll have a big mess. Or it isn't full. Maybe that's why this one isn't all the way full, is because somebody was actually using it, and that's why it I got these from Stu Mack. Has that paint on it. So if there's a problem, that's where it originated. No, it's hard to say. Let's look at the tip. Well, the tip looks good, like it's not been used. As soon as these are through discharging, then I'll punch a great big hole in it, start pouring paint, and we'll see what paint I got. Because I want a glassy, smooth, finely atomized paint. This is all the paint that was in that can. Look at that. That's it. That was the first can I bought. It's still boiling a bit. So you can see where I put extra clear on it before I shot the gold.
So the gold is still picking up the wood, but where I shot the extra around where I'd done the repairs, it laid a lot smoother. So I got to stop right here, let this dry, because you can see that it needs more, it needed more sealer on the body. I shot a pretty reasonable, we'll call it a medium coat of clear over the top of the gold. Let that set up for an hour. And then I wet sanded the whole thing and then shot another coat of gold on it. Really doesn't take that much. And really finely atomized by my gun. And it laid out really nice. This has to set up, and I have to pull my masking. It's about, I don't know, 6 o'clock. I don't know what the heck time it is. Oh, it's only 4:30. So, yeah, I'll be done tonight. Nice thing about lacquer, dries quick. You can see I even left the nick that the pick guard leaves in the surface of the guitar. I just left that there because it's going to happen again, so no point in overdoing the sanding.
I have to get the gold off the binding now. No need to tell you how tedious this process is. It took me a while to get my technique down, so I was really slow at it. If you've noticed that little red spot on my head, that was a squamous cell precancerous thing that had to come off. It's one of the harbingers of old age. The trick to this is it's in the hand position. If you can be comfortable and keep your hands supported and your arms supported so that you're very steady with it, then you can be real accurate with your scraping, which I wasn't, of course. There was a couple of spots where I got in just a little too far with the razor blade, but you really have to look for it to see it. So I'll let it go. 3 coats of clear on it. I'll be putting some more on there. I definitely want to have enough that I can sand a lot to get all those little hoop-de-doos out of the finish, but looks pretty good. The guitar has to sit for 3 weeks and cure. Natural daylight on the left and just house lighting on the right. It really changes how it looks.